All three kids are down. Got a cup of tea. And I'm going to try and shoot in part 2 of this app build video. Go on the golf clubs. So yeah, half an hour earlier, shot version 1 of how to build an app or web platform with AI tools. I'm using Google AI Studio. It's going well. It's a colouring book app for people that want to make colouring books. There's a big market for this with people that sell their books on Amazon. They say when the gold rush happens, it's not the people that are mining for gold that make the money, it's the people selling the pickaxes. This app, I think, is a pickaxe. So we will see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Part 2, let's go. Day 2 of the 30-day side hustle challenge. Designs are back. My partner's just come in.
Don't record me right now.
I'm 1 hour past my curfew. It's completely free. I cannot understand why this is possible. I spent up to around £800 on one app. And as I said, I'm not a coder, I don't know code, and I'm trying to do this with no code experience whatsoever. I had a big problem at the weekend or yesterday when I was building with Google AI Studio. If you remember from the first video, this is where I got to, where I was creating characters and some things were going wrong, but I could fix them. Overall, I was impressed with it. But when I went to add a database, it asked me to start copy and pasting MySQL code, but it just wasn't working. As I said, I'm not a coder, I don't know code, and I'm trying to do this with no code experience whatsoever. The more I researched, I realized that Google Firebase is the native AI database tool for Google. When I was looking into it, I realized that it also has its own studio where you can build apps. So I thought, I'll give it a go, somewhat starting from the beginning. So I got the Google Gemini AI to explain what we've built, because we made some good changes, and I pasted it into the Firebase Studio. And once again, I'm really impressed. The Firebase Studio system is really cool. Same as all the other AI builders. You have your preview in the middle and your AI chat on the right. The difference with this is a few things. You can annotate, so you click this button here, and then you can tell the system what you're referring to. I think that's so cool. With Google Gemini build, when I was adding API keys from different services that I wanted to integrate, it was asking me to go in and edit the files that contain the code. That's where it stops with me. I tried to do it and it just started breaking. Whereas in Firebase, it opened up kind of like a field entry box and it asked me to put it in there. And that works really well. So just to recap, I'm now using Firebase Studio. In the past, I've used tools like Replit. Replit is probably the one that I've used the most. And there are other tools like Lovable, and there's a few more on the market. Both of these tools, Replit and Lovable, you have to pay for, and it's tokenized. So you pay a subscription fee, and then anything beyond that, you pay an overage fee. So as I've said in the last video, I spent up to around £800 on one app. And the problem with the pure AI code builders is that it gets dangerous. You spend so much money that you have to continue because you're invested, but the code starts overwriting, bugs happen, and you can't fix it. So you have to just down tools and leave it. Whereas what I was finding with Google AI Studio and now Firebase is you have more control over it, but it's completely free. I cannot understand why this is possible. It hasn't charged me. I'm paying for the API calls that I'm sending to Google Gemini for the image creation for Flash 2.5. And there's a publish button here, and I need to add a database. So I know there's a free version of the database, but I'm assuming at some point it's going to charge me. But at the minute, I can't believe that I've been able to make iterations and it's not cost me. So where am I right now? So I've tweaked it. I've been editing this site within Firebase now for the past half an hour after pasting my information over from the previous platform, and it had some different options down here for scenes, characters, etc. But I asked it to take inspiration from Canva, how you create projects and then your work sits within a project, because it was getting messy. So now you can see this book, which is one I've been messing around with. Don't ask on the images, I've just kept it really quick. So you can see my characters are saved here. So now this is within a book, and if I had scenes, the scenes would be here. But if I add scene, let's say it's a battle, and all of them were in there. Don't ask why Snow White looks like a modern cartoon. It's exactly what I asked for, but I didn't re-prompt it afterwards. The two knights are fighting to win the princess. So I've ticked all 3 characters. So now, what it should do is include the character references and pictures in the new scene prompt to try and get correct imagery back. Let's see what it spits out. You can see here on the right as well, when you make changes, it tells you the amount of code that it's removed and the amount of code that it's added. It's just really cool. So it's exactly what I asked for, but it's missing some stuff. So can I re-prompt it? Let's see what changes. What I did have on this, but it seems to have removed, is a edit image button here, and then you could tell it what to change. But in this scenario, just to show you the outcome, I've just rewritten the scene description. The great thing about doing these videos is I'm holding myself accountable, and it's forced me to, or motivated me to do the second one so quickly. Cool, that is the character. There's the princess on her phone, and we've got some random animals here. Well, it's a colouring book, you could leave it. The tower has a moat around it. I probably would have changed that, but I'm happy. Save to book. So now look, we've got 1 scene and 3 characters. So again, I could go and create a new scene. And the idea is that if you was saving these PNGs to upload to Canva to create your book, to upload to Amazon KDP, then you would probably want maybe 12 to 16 pages, and you would save all your scenes within this book, and then you could download them or download them one at a time. So look, overall, I'm really happy. Google Firebase Studio, amazing so far. What I've since seen in my research is that Google also has a product called Google Stich, and it's a design tool. Now, AI builders really fall down with design. As you can see, it's pretty plain and simple, right? There's no character, excuse the pun, around what I'm building. When I think about colouring book, I think like brush strokes or colouring pens and playfulness. So I've been using this Google Stich to come up with a design, and I'm so impressed. Look at this one, for example. So you can see that it's got the kind of brush strokes behind the text. The font has changed to be more playful or drawn. The colours, the shadows, the background, it's spot on. The little, is it called an accent or something there? I asked it to put together a bit of a brand guideline page for me. I'm super impressed. It's not perfect, but we're going to go with it. What you can do with Google Stich is you can export it to Figma, and that would be the normal scenario if you was building a website. So no, I'm going to copy this. I see someone do this in a video. It probably won't work for me. I'm going to paste that there, and then I'm going to get the brand guidelines one as well. So what I'm thinking is I paste these screenshots into Firebase Studio and ask it to redesign the web app based on this style. I don't know how well it can pick up the style of this design. So what I've also got is I asked it to explain the design to me. Brand guidelines, here we are. Copy. I have created a new brand for our website. Let's go. I've been really impressed so far, so let's see. Once the design's changed, in an ideal world, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a book, and I'm going to try and upload a book to Amazon KDP and see where my limitations are. If I can do that, then I will then focus on, once the design is fixed, I will then focus on a homepage, an About Us page. Then I will put a payment wall behind it. I will then create user authentication, and which can be difficult. Let's see how Firebase handles that. And once I've got user authentication, I can then create a gated payment wall where someone has to buy a subscription, and I'm going to tokenize it like Replit, like I said before, £15 a month, for example. And then if you create more assets than is within that, then you start taking on overage fees. The idea is that someone might want to spin up a couple of books and they might want to pay 50, 60 quid to do so, which the creative cost is small and the output would be high. The fact that they can launch a book with it. We'll see where we get to. I want to keep the features really slim and not overbuild, because I've been down that path before. It's very upsetting when you get to a certain point where you love what you've built, but then it just really starts going the wrong way. So we'll pause the video and we'll come back to it when this design starts to be added. Designs are back. Mate, AI is just insane, isn't it? What you can do. So initial designs, you can see some new colors. You can see some new font types here. And this hover and shadow look, which is just superb. The whole thing now animates and pops when you hover over it. So let's open a new book. Again, consistency, that's brilliant. That is really cool. Snow White, what else has changed? It's cool, I'd make some changes to that, but again, that looks really cool. Scene description, amazing. Love it. So we're in a good place. I may change the text here. So title text keep as this cool funky text, but title text may be reduced. It's got here.
You're gonna come to bed.
My partner's just come in.
Don't record me right now.
I'm 1 hour past my curfew.
Your curfew you gave yourself.
My vibe coding window has now closed, so I'm gonna wrap it up in a sec. So design wise, the only thing, it's not perfect. How do we fix it? Let's have a look. I think this is a good example. I mean, my recording is now all over the place. The missus come in, she put the washing machine on. I found some new features. I'm a rookie to this, but let me show you what I have found. So in Stich, where these designs are made, where you put in a prompt and a design's made, you can actually click download and view code. So I've then pasted the code of that page into here because the shadings are too big, the text is not right, the header's not right, it's taking it from an image. But I've just pasted in the front end code, which is brilliant. I haven't been able to do that in the past. I've looked probably for the past 2 years, but I've been trying to find a way to get good design coded, and because it costs a lot of money, but I haven't been able to, so that's a really good start. So some changes straight away, not many. The text is much cleaner to look at. Open book. I mean, I'm happy with it from where we are today. It definitely doesn't look like this at the minute. Why doesn't it look like this? Where are the highlights of text? Okay, let's see. My apologies. Guys, that's a wrap for day 2. It was actually shot on day 4 because the whole recording for day 2 that I wanted to use was lost when the video was saved somehow, I don't know. But I'm going to continue to upload a few videos a week and show you more critical progress, because it's been a bit scattergunned at the moment, but I hope you're enjoying it. Please subscribe and let me know if you have any feedback or if you'd like to see anything different.